Hands together and let's make some noise.
Vera and I'm your Miss Trans Global United Kingdom, and we are live here on Facebook. I'm taking over Miss Trans Global page, and you are free to join. How are you, my friends? So if you haven't liked their page, you can like their page on Instagram and on Facebook. Also, they are on YouTube, so you can follow their YouTube channel. And don't forget to cast your vote to all the girls or to me. If you want, you can go to my misstransglobal.com and vote. So let's start. So we're doing this live because we want you to get to know about the candidates. So this is my day chart. Yeah, sorry guys, it's not my forte, but I'll try to. Yeah, I'll do my best to be prime and proper. Anyways, so first question, who is Vera? For me, Vera is someone who is down to earth, who is hardworking, and whenever there is a challenge, Vera doesn't give up easily. So I take that challenge as my inspiration to be better and to achieve things. All right. So if you have any other questions, you can go ahead and put on your questions below. Tell us about your life history. So transitioning wise, it was actually not a it wasn't that challenging because my mom and my dad already knew that I was already that soft and feminine is this femboy if that's what you call it before transitioning. So I started transitioning when I was in college. I started taking hormones, and but I didn't want to be called gay or bayot in my own dialect. So in 2009, there was the first Queen of Cebu, now Queen Philippines, was established. And when I saw the winners in the newspaper, I said, like, I wanted to be them. I want to be like her. I don't want to be like gay or bi. I wanted to be a girl. So I started researching, and yeah, I started taking hormones, and even after college, I pursue taking hormones. Although there was a bit struggle when it comes to letting my dad accept or like understand my transitioning, but in the end he did understand and accepted me for who I am. So now I believe he's proud, and even my family is proud too. So yeah. So that's about your pageant history. So my pageant history started well um in 20, I think that was 2013. Yeah, 2013. I was already starting to transition. I had a long hair. I was already working. I was already a nurse, and I was working as a nurse in this hotel in Cebu. And I was actually asked to resign because of my sexual or gender identity. And then that's when my interest to pageantry really sparked, because I didn't had anyone to approach, because um, I don't know, like I really didn't know anyone. And so when I got the courage to join um, pageant, my first pageant was 2017. It's the Mandawi Gay pageant. That was my first ever um, pageant that I joined, and I was a first timer then. And yes, I met I met my friends, and I considered sister. We built some friendship on that batch, and yes, we really clicked on, and we gave advices. We also shared common goal, which is to promote equality and diversity. And 2 years after, before I left the Philippines, I joined Queen Philippines 2019. That was actually my goal before leaving the Philippines. Yes, I I represented one of the provinces in the Philippines, and it was really fulfilling. It was I say that it was something that I would never forget in when I was in the Philippines, in my pageant his journey. So yes, and now 2 years after, I applied as a candidate for Miss Trans Global United Kingdom, and I was selected. I got a call from Miss Sahara, and I got selected as the representative for the UK, and I was really flattered and honored. Um, yeah, I'm very grateful and thankful. Denver Jade says, "Is Vera single, milk?" Um, well, I am emotionally, how do I say this? Um, Emotionally committed to someone right now. We don't have yet label, but I think I think that's how they are here in the western side. They don't give you label yet, or like they want you to they want you know they want to spend more time with you and date you before you put on labels. I don't know. Maybe I'll ask soon. Thank you. Denver. Shy. How and when did you move to UK? So, my journey here in the UK was not easy. It was a 5 years in the making. Um, when UK opened their doors to nurses, I think it was back in 2014, 2015. Um, I some of my colleagues in the some of my colleagues in the hospital started to encourage and tried to apply in the UK, like in some agencies. So at first I was hesitant, and then when I saw the situation, and nurses in the Philippines back then were not that really appreciated. So I tried to I tried my best I tried to apply. And well, I took IELTS 5 times four times before I pass, and then computer-based exam, which is the first competency for the NMC. Um, I took it three times before I passed, and then after that, I didn't. With the processing of the papers, I didn't really had the struggle, but there was one like cute moments, I'd say, because NMC took a while to give my certificate of sponsorship, because while I was submitting all my documents, my NBI, um, my PRC ID, I was already looking feminine then, and so they wrote to me, or they emailed asking me to prove that it's me, because the one my name and my gender does not meet the I think the IDs that I submit. So I explained to them, and they were very nice that and accepting, and yeah, they provided me um uh the certificate of sponsorship. So I've been here for almost 18 months, 20 months now. No, actually 23 months, because I'll be turning I'll already be here for 2 years next month. So yeah, sure. Sorry guys, I'm so tense. Mackie, full support. Oh, thank you so much, Ati Mackie. That's one of my inspiration as well. It was actually her who encouraged me um to come out and to fight for my right, because in 2013 she also had a situation, and it was on the same year I had my own struggle. So it was her situation, like it was her challenge that really made me strong and come out and really like think that I need to stand for myself. I need to stand for the community. And yeah, thank you so much, Ati Maki. Thank you, thank you so much. What struggles did you face being a frontliner nurse? Oh well, this question is really timely, because we're anticipating for our third wave here in the UK. But of course, like fingers crossed, hopefully it won't be as worse as the second wave and the first wave. So there was actually in each wave it was a different challenge. The first wave, because we didn't know how to approach the virus, how to approach the disease, and what what to do. So we were basically doing the um, the standard precaution. So we didn't have that FFP3 mask. So it was merely like fighting a battle, that fighting a an enemy that we can't see. So after we came out from the first wave, that's when the time that our trust or our hospital put us on trainings, respiratory trainings, and all the trainings that would make us confident and equipped um, on the anticipation for the second wave. And true enough, um, second wave happened like around November, December, and that was also challenging, because most people, or like most patients, symptoms was really bad. We haven't had vaccine yet that time, and they were still rolling, or they were still, I think, in the process of approving the vaccine. And yeah, like it was really it was really tiring, and at the same time fulfilling, when it's I always think that I'm always at my best when serving others. I think and all nurses also do feel that. But um one of the most I think one of the challenges as well on the second wave is that um our mental health, our struggles. We Because we didn't had we weren't able to go we weren't able to go home or visit our family, and we were like just work home. So it was really struggling, and yeah, we were experiencing an anxiety attack. Yeah, like we were we were all crying because like we don't really know when it would stop, and then we somehow passed that stage, and hopefully as we anticipate for the third wave, we will not get as worse symptom as the second wave, because I believe most like 98% of the citizens here in the UK are have already their jab or their vaccines. So yeah. Anyways, so well, don't forget to visit the Miss Trans Global Facebook page and Instagram page, and also don't forget to vote since yeah, voting is still going on. And oh, Susan Aviana, thank you so much, Miss Susan, thank you. And yeah, go to their website misstransglobal.com and vote for the girls, and hopefully we will be starting our preliminary soon, and just um watch for it. We've worked hard for this um hard materials and files, and hopefully we will be able to give the best show. I believe this is still the second year for the Miss Trans Global, and they've really reached significant was this they've really exceeded I believe the first episode for me, huh? Yeah, like by selecting individual candidates from different countries, that's really a big thing. Miss Trans Global UK. Oh, thank you so much, Miss Winter. Yeah, it's all this. I think that's what all we need. V Jose Capri, Miss UK. Thank you, V. So I think that's all I could say. Tell us about your experience with Miss Trans Global so far. Yeah. Since I don't have well, to be honest, I don't have that much resources here, unlike I was if I was competing for the Miss Trans Global Philippines. Like the gowns and makeup. I actually do my own makeup, and I really try to reach out to some people to do my gowns, and to help me conceptualize my excuse me my output, my files. And I am very grateful because I have friends and my friends and family that are really supportive. One of which is my cousin. She has been my videographer, and her friend as well and colleague at work, Nina. She was my photographer for my finals output, and my housemates, they are the best. Yeah, they've really endured my activities, and at any time I could call them, and anytime I could like grab them and tell them like, oh, let's do some pictures. I need to submit this and that, and they're really this is enthusiastic to do that, because yeah, they we support each other, and I think that's the most important thing. Win or lose, um for as long as you know that you are well supported with your advocacy, and with your with your cause, that's the most important thing. Thank you. So I think that would be all. Um, but I do have my special guest for this afternoon. She has been waiting at the backstage. Without further ado, I would like to welcome Miss Eda Cataba. She is one of the candidate for Miss Trans Global Philippines, and she is an advocate for the trans right, for equality and for equality, and I really look up to her. That's why I wanted her to join me in this live was this or media presentation, because I also wanted to get inputs from her. I wanted to learn because yeah, she's also one of my inspiration why I also fight for representation in the healthcare industry. I believe when creating advocacies, it has to be close to our hearts, and yeah, she inspired me to create or to be, you know, to have to do my own work. So let's welcome Miss Eda Catabas.
Hi Vera, hi everyone. It's so nice to be here.
Hello. Hi, Miss Eda. How are you?
I'm doing great. Firstly, I would like to thank you, Miss Trans Global, as well for having me, and thank you for um, inviting me to be part of your media presentation. It's an honor, and I would like to be here as well. As you said, it's very important that we push for equality, especially mainstream trans rights advocacies, because there is really, sadly and unfortunately, there is really a need to fight fight for our spaces here in this world. That is, I know that sounds so sad, but that is what's happening, and we cannot allow and we cannot just tolerate for this to happen. So we must do something. Thank you for having me, and you also inspired me, Vera. So
Oh, no,
thank you.
actually, that's one reason why I wanted to, like, I'm not only representing the United Kingdom, but as well as the Philippines. And I wanted to share the platform to my to my trans sisters. I wanted them to be also be heard on a bigger platform, since we're now being seen internationally. So, this is just not my fight, but it's for everyone, for all of us, who really wanted to fight for equality. So yeah.
That's true, and that's what's beautiful about this pageant. It's we are actually given the chance to, you know, to promote our different advocacies.
Mm.
It may be different, but we have one goal, and that is for everyone to just live with acceptance. So I remember when I was competing for Miss Trans Global Philippines and represented Cebu Province, I had the chance to showcase my advocacies and what are my thoughts and opinions about some issues. For example, um, I was actually able to disclose during my application video that I do sex work, and that's actually something that's considered taboo in the Philippines until now. Even though in reality there are many sex workers in the Philippines, and I believe that sex work is work. So,
Exactly.
for me, it's a decent job. We're able to pay our bills for it because of that work. We are able to buy food, so I really considered it as a decent job and it's work, um, regardless if there are so many people telling us that it's immoral or there's it does not it's that not pass to their standards of morality. And I also remember during the pageant night I was able to talk about, because I made it to the top 16,
Mm,
so I was able to talk about trans lives matter, PH,
yes.
because as you know, and it's very sad that there are so many recent trans killings here in our country.
I've actually heard it's something that it's not common back then, and then now it's like for them it's so easy to cut someone's life just because they are part of the LGBT community, when it shouldn't be like that. everyone has the right to live. So yeah.
That's right. I mean, I remember when Jennifer Laude was murdered,
Mm,
and then uh, you know, Pemberton was actually given presidential pardon, and that was very devastating to so many Filipinos, especially trans Pinays or trans Filipinos in our country, because um, we deserve justice, and it only goes to show that we are still living in a country where our lives and our humanity, including our dignity,
yeah.
um, are not being valued, and we need to ensure that this country, and not just Philippines, but I hope all countries in the world, um, you know, state countries would ensure that it's a safe place for all citizens, regardless if you're trans or not. But it was just so sad this year because we thought that the decision of presidential pardon for Pemberton was unfair
Mm,
and 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 not right. But then this year, there were some trans killings that were added to that.
yes. I've,
Ebeng Mayor, a trans man masculine, was also murdered, as well as Gigi Bangkiao. And just some few days ago, we now have
um,
Cindy Jones Torres as part of the list. Lives that were taken in the name of transphobia, and that's very sad. We have to really do something about this.
you know, I'm very fortunate enough that I'm in a country that really recognizes the trans side with our the Equality Act of 2010, and also we have like the Gender Identity Act here in the UK. Really fortunate enough. That's why I'm not only fighting for like more like recognition here in the UK, but also I'm sharing it in the Philippines. And that's why I'm really really inspired with your works and with your and advocacy, because you're really out loud. To be honest, I'm not someone who like really um you know all out, and I always wanted to just work at the background, but with your work and um with your voice, it also helps me draw that voice inside me and to be really out loud, especially when I heard about the recent killing. I forgot the name, but I was I was really devastated, because like it's just so easy for them to take off lives, and when it's not, you know, we should be. I know it's not like a fairy tale, but like we should at least try to respect each other, and to to think that we are not just trans women, but we are people. We have feelings, and we also care, and we can make this a place, a better world. So
Your work is actually very important, and everyone is an advocate, just as long as you have a genuine heart and you really want to change the world for it to become a better place for everyone. I think that we actually don't have to do what other advocates are doing. We can just do it in our own simple ways. Whatever our power allows us to do. And if you are an advocate, you are an advocate. That that
yes,
that title um, can be for everyone. Just as long as you have a strong mind and a heart that's really crying out loud, wanting for change, then you can be an advocate. So I'm
that's a
also very
strong
thankful of
statement.
your work, actually, because this the fight for um, gender equality and pushing for trans rights advocacies can't be done by just one or few people. It should be done. There should be a collective effort. We should be fighting as a team,
Yes,
because we are the direct beneficiaries with the success of the battles, and not just us. I think that everyone in the society.
hmm,
And I know for now, not many people believes that, because there are some that are, or there are many that are oppressing
mm,
trans people. But I really hope that one day um, in the right time, we'll be able to get what we want because trans rights are human rights.
Exactly. After competing Miss Trans Global Philippines, how did it change you? Like how did it amplify your advocacy? Like did it made like big difference when it comes to like raising awareness?
Sure it did. But before Miss Trans Global, I've always been an advocate.
Mm,
I believe I started at a young age because I realized that we don't deserve to be treated like this. It is unfair, and I have been told by some friends that, oh, you have a gift in public speaking, so why don't you use that to promote your advocacy? And so I did. I believe them, and I did have some human rights trainings and everything, and so it made me more passionate and really wanted to push. And then I'm also pageant enthusiast, so I love joining pageants from time to time as well, whenever I can. And pageants nowadays are cool because it's not just about the physical beauty anymore.
mm,
Traditionally, many believe that that's the definition of beauty pageants, but now it's changing. Even in big pageants, big international pageants, we are now encouraged to promote our advocacy. And so when I joined Miss Trans Global, yes, it did have some changes because there are you're also being known by people from your community, the trans community, and so it would be, I think, it amplified
mm,
for me to use my voice to
mm,
promote the trans right advocacy that I am very passionate um, in fighting. And also I remember it was after Miss Trans Global Philippines that I was able to find Philippine Sex Workers Collective, and I became a member of this organization, and I'm now the spokesperson of Shawushka, which is the trans sex workers team in the collective. So yes, it did help me amplify my voice as an advocate, and I'm so thankful for the pageant.
that's good. That's good. I myself like I I like my advocacy came from that discrimination I experienced, and like even you were was this I was already a professional then, I still experienced that kind of discrimination. And I think like that really started my being enthusiastic in pageantry. I said I wanted to find ways how to make my voice heard. I because at that time I really didn't know who to approach. And yeah, I was it, when that feeling that you're just concealed in a box, and no one really you don't know where to go. That made me somehow strong, and took the initiative to really like find ways to amplify my voice. Yeah.
Yes, I remember that. Not um, not all know about that, but no, I remember that I asked you to share your story,
Mm,
um, and feature it in our page because I'm also the secretary of National Transgender Network here in the Philippines, the Convening Advocates Filipinas, and I remember that I asked if we can feature, a story of you being a frontliner there in the United Kingdom, and I'm so happy that you trusted the organization for us to share your story, and and from it's weird because sometimes we need to experience some discrimination
mm,
first before we learn that, okay,
correct.
this is foul, this is unfair, and we should do something about this. But you know um, I know that there are so many transgender people in the world that are experiencing SOGS based violence and discrimination, but not
Mhm,
all, because fighting is a very tiring um, act. We don't like to fight. I mean, no, who wants to fight? We can when if we are just given the privilege to just enjoy life and be happy, and then of course we will choose that. But that's why I salute and I commend advocates that are really using their voice, such as
mm,
you, different platforms such as Miss Trans Global, and other platforms, really finding ways on how they're able to promote their advocacies, because it's very important as well, because not all can speak up like what we
Mm.
can. Not all, has the courage to do that. And so I really just admire advocates. For me, everyone's hero. So
Mm.
thank you for being who you are, for being the advocate that you are.
Thank you so much, Miss Ada. That means so much coming from, from someone who I really look up to. I mean, like, I wouldn't be here if no, I didn't had the courage to really take that, small voice to out from me. And yes, I believe that when that's just how I really, like, I draw my advocacy from, from the heart, and from I always tell this to everyone, that I mean, to my friends, when you're creating advocacy, it should be coming from your heart. And there's no way that I could, um you know make, or like advocate for, like, for the healthcare, or trans representation in the healthcare industry, as well as, like, advocating for nurses in general. Because um, I remember when I was in the Philippines, I competed for the national pageant. I really, like, um, speak up about being a nurse, how nurses are less appreciated. Um, aside from being a transgender nurse, there are hospital back then who were not, that accepting, or they want you to be, they want you to be the to look like the to look like a man, or something like that, because that what happened to me when back in 2013. So yes, that's when I really started to advocate as well for nurses, because we were not really appreciated in the Philippines. And I just wanted to, like, to use this platform as well, to, like, to to let everyone know that we also being a nurse is also hard, and we're also struggling physically and mentally. But if after work, you would see us, like, happy, because that's how we cope. But at least, appreciate nurses, the more so now that, we're dealing with the pandemic, especially in the Philippines. And I salute my colleagues, all my colleagues in the Philippines, who's working nonstop to support the hospitals, to support the government. It's really heartwarming that they still really had that passion.
Frontliners are heroes. You are a hero, and
We are all heroes in
yes,
ways.
frontliners are indeed heroes. They've saved so many lives. I hope that we'll do our part. That's
Mm.
because the responsibility should be, we should be sharing responsibilities, and we should do our part as citizens as well, because it's not easy for frontliners like you, Vera. I know that. And oftentimes, especially before the pandemic, we are not that grateful to our healthcare workers, because we think that they are just doing their jobs, and that's the right thing to do because they're paid. But now I have a more better understanding of how heroic being frontliner um, is, because it's not easy. I mean, there is really a chance that you're gonna lose your life, your loved ones, the special people, um, the special people for you are gonna lose you. But you are still very dedicated to do the work, because you are willing and dedicated to save lives, and that for me is just something that's very heroic. And I thank you, and I thank all the healthcare workers, especially the frontliners during this global crisis.
All right. Thank you so much, Ate Ada. I call you Ate Ada.
That's
Sorry.
fine. I'm older, so that's okay.
Okay. All right. I think Do you have any questions, France, to me or to Ada? Please, don't forget to. I mean, like, yeah, just put on the comment box. Mm.
Yes.
I actually just came from 3 night shifts. I only had 2 hours of sleep, and so like the dedication of really showing up fresh in the camera was really like um,
Very queenly. You look so fresh and gorgeous.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. I was actually worried and anxious, doing this because it's not like public speaking. Oh, it always makes me nervous or anxious. It's not easy. So that's why um yeah, I try. And thank you for being here with me. I feel comfortable. I feel you.
Sure. I mean, even though there are friends of mine telling me that, oh, you have good public speaking skills, but I don't think so. There are many times that I had to do this, and I still feel that I feel so nervous. I don't know what I'm talking about sometimes. I'm not sure if that's right or wrong, but you will always have that, and that's normal. Um, but you're doing well, very well. Just be yourself,
Mm.
and yeah, I'm sure that there are so many people that'll appreciate that because you are just being you, and that's what matters, right? We need to show the world who we are. And again, I'm just so thankful that platforms like this, Miss Trans Global, are giving us the chance to to fight for what we think is right.
So there is a question. What is the difference between trans living experience in the UK and in the Philippines? Um, well, being in the I mean, I've lived in the Philippines and now here. Well, I say this. I think I'm correct me if I'm wrong. I think Ada, if if you are passable in the Philippines, like people would not really ridicule you or like it's something that like they would if you're passable enough, they would not they would not ridicule you and they would just see you as normal as as a woman, although they still pick on you. But here in the UK, regardless of how you look, if you're so manly, for as long if you have hair, you are addressed as she. And there was one time when I first started here in the UK, I was still using my legal name, and my manager was expecting well my I mean like I was introduced by my by our PDN, like our personal or like our um what's this it's like a clinical instructor here in the UK. And when she introduces me to my manager's like, oh, I think I'm not actually expecting a John, but I'm actually expecting a John, but I'm not expecting Vera. And I told her like, actually that was me, and she was like, oh my gosh, like she was really concerned that she didn't know and she addressed me wrongly. And so like the next day she really did approach me and ask me how could she make it better, how could you know for me being comfortable working in the in 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 the hospital. And so like they actually changed my name in the system. So I'm now using Vera in in the system in the hospital. So that really made a big or a huge difference, because you're how you prefer to be called, they would really honor that, right? Because in the Philippines, regardless of how you look and how like if your name is still male, they would stick on that, which is sad, because like it shouldn't be based on the name. It's based how it should be based on how you know present yourself and identify yourself. What about
That's
you?
true. That's true. And well, I could not compare both because I have not lived in the UK. I'm just here in the Philippines. But I believe that the UK has laws, existing laws such as gender recognition law.
Mm.
Um, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that the UK also has a national anti-discrimination law. So
Mm-hmm.
laws are actually very important because regardless if you are not into that law, you don't have any other choice but to abide to the law. And like here in the Philippines, we don't have existing laws that can ensure the protection of human rights of trans people. So we don't have national anti-discrimination law. We don't have gender recognition law. So it's hard to
What's stopping
determine if
what's stopping us to like what's stopping the Philippines to take that, or to push that law? I mean, like, yeah.
um, we have equality champions in both the House of Representatives and
Mm-hmm.
even in the Senate. We have lawmakers that are really pushing for that. To name a few, we have Senator Risa Hontiveros, for example, also in the House of Representatives. The first ever transgender Congresswoman Geraldine Duman is pushing for the SOGI equality bill, for us to have that here in the Philippines. But there are other lawmakers that are actually using their I don't know, religion to justify maybe their hate towards the LGBTQ community, and it's very sad because if you know Philippines also has the freedom, or Filipinos have the freedom to have a religion of whatever it's every Filipino's decision to identify with any religion they want. And me myself as an agnostic person, I don't even follow or identify with any religions available here in the Philippines. But that's my right. That's we have that human right. And if we allow one religion to just rule how all Filipinos live, and that's very sad because it's not just here in the Philippines, but even in other countries. Until now, there are still ongoing conflicts, wars, and issues in the name of religion. And I hope that you know we can create laws that are just that are just beneficial for everyone, regardless of what your religion is. I'm really hoping that one day we'll finally have laws that will ensure the protection of our human rights. But as of the moment, it's kind of challenging, but we will not stop. We will not stop. We'll continue the fight.
Thank you for that at the end. The, guys, that was a very intense and serious topic. To loosen it up, Denver Jade is asking, is Edda single? Charot.
Well, actually, Denver's supposed to join us, but because of her
Oh,
unstable internet connection, she's now
how's the
in the island of
timeline?
Bohol. She's not able to join us. I'm single. I'm single and entertaining
Mm-hmm.
um, some few dates, but both online and I don't know, some real, maybe in real, maybe. But no, I'm single. I'm single and not
Let's
in a
throw the
hurry to be
question
in a
to them.
relationship.
Is Denver single?
How about you, Denver? Are you single?
You single, Denver? You can answer us in the comment box below. What makes you both happy? So, what makes us happy? What makes me happy? Um, I think I believe I'm a very simple woman. Anything anything that even if I'm with happy and healthy environment, if that makes me happy. If there is food, oh my gosh, I love food. I love chocolates. That makes me happy. Even on those struggling time when we were fighting COVID, and I always try to. That's actually our talent. Being in the LGBT community, we just have so much joy and love in our hearts that no matter how they try to drag us down, we always rise up and like just be happy and like despite them putting us down, and I think that's what makes me happy. Like, everything that is positive around us, and trying to um try always see things in a positive s- side. Yeah, seeing the glass half full instead of half empty, things like that. What about you at the end?
Um, I'm also a very simple person. My happiness is not nothing complicated. It's not fancy as well. I can be happy by just staying at home, watching movies, feel good movies, maybe some action movies, sci-fi, um, comedy. So I love watching movies. I love singing as well.
Mhm.
I listen to music a lot. I start my day with coffee and music. I
Wow.
love to sing. What else? Hanging out with friends, drinking, getting drunk with friends,
Wow.
girls getting wild.
Get me
You
going.
know, yes, I'm just a very simple person, I would say, and nothing complicated with the things that can make me happy. But if I am going to be serious, something that would really make me happy as an advocate is if one day this country will have national laws that will ensure the protection of the human rights of our people from our communities, especially the trans people. That's it.
Thank you so much for that wonderful question, Charot. Denver, what is your message to the people opposing the Soji bill? My message, I think they just need to be sensitive. They need to see where we are coming from and why we are fighting for the Soji equality bill. And what I think most people's concern why they're trying to, I believe so, they're trying to oppose the Soji bill is that they're concerned that their rights are being stepped on, which is I think I believe it's not. It's just like to give us our own space, and we deserve that space. That's my answer.
Yes, I hope that they will just open their hearts, and you know, I can, I can, I can see and hear them trying to justify them opposing social equality bill, and it's coming from the place of hate. And
Yeah.
I hope that they would consider, um, they would just consider to open their hearts because we are, for the longest time, crying out loud, prioritize our humanity and dignity, or they see it as valueless. And I hope that by them opening their hearts, they would really understand the struggles and what we are fighting for. Trans people are people, part of the society. We're also human beings,
Oh,
and we can be someone else's siblings, mother or father,
be whatever.
daughter or son. So we're part of your family. We're part of the society, and just like you, we're also human. So please open your hearts, and let's all be happy and be safe in this world.
That's another question. How do you deal with conflicts and aggressive people? Well, in my line of work, the like there I mean, I've been dealing with people who are also who are aggressive, and but we try to understand them because like they're going through something. But in general, I think um I would understand understand where they're coming from, and I would I would ask them why such behavior is, why they're doing such behavior. It's more of like understanding why, where they're coming from, because like it always boils down to um our our past, or like if there is like history of why they're just really aggressive, or like they try to make conflicts.
Am I also gonna answer the question?
Yeah, what
Ah, okay.
how do you sorry how do you sorry how do you how do you
Sorry, what was the question? How do you deal with
with
conflicts
conflicts
and
and aggressive people? So like, it's just
I know I'm anti-violence, so I try
mm,
not to be violent, but it's hard sometimes, especially if they're really hurting you physically and abusing you emotionally,
mm,
mentally. So um, that's very sad. But I think that the best way to deal with that is to just report to the authority and let the law decide, because no one should be hurting other people's feelings, or other people
but
physically. So
if
I
you're being
try to be
sorry, go ahead.
yes, I try my best to be calm and relax, but
Mm.
sometimes you can't help but be aggressive with your words as well, especially when you can't contain it anymore. But I can only try, and I always try.
That's That's good. Yeah, I mean, like if it's they're violently violently aggressive, like, and then hurting you, or like hitting you physically, I think, yeah, we really have to report to the authorities. How should one love a trans woman? Oh, this is a very I know like um interesting question. How should one love a trans woman? Oh my gosh. What ano? How do you answer that, Ate Ada, Char?
People are always different. That's what we
Actually,
are. Humans, as we're always unique and different, especially in expressing our love to people that we like or we love. But just study and do everything and anything to make the trans woman happy. That's just what love is for me. It's all about happiness.
mm,
Because when it's no when, when you're no longer happy with your connection with someone, then that's not love. So it should be just a
oh,
happy experience. It's supposed to be the happiest human experience. So, you know, our years here in on Earth is not that long, as you can see. So just enjoy and be happy with your
we
life.
I think when we become vulnerable to someone, that's when we get scared, and because um me, if I love, I really love 100%, char 100%. And sometimes they take advantage of that. When we love, we give everything, we really try to make that person happy. And yeah, I mean, like, I think they a person should be sensitive, and should be sensitive, and to, like you said, study and learn how a trans woman be loved. And I think Maki said trans women should be loved the way you love
Hi,
anyone.
Maki.
Love her truly and respect her as a person. Exactly. I mean, I couldn't agree more. And yeah, like, she should see um a trans woman as a person, someone who have a heart, and someone who because we have such a good heart that sometimes they would just take advantage of that. I've had multiple experience, charot, like,
That's true.
pag love
That's true,
life. Actually,
Maki. Show
we can
love and
talk in
respect. Be
Visayas as well,
happy.
Tagalog. Yeah. Uh, alam mo naman, like, we have experience. And for me, like, ako, like, I always try to you know, like serious dating. That's actually my I know, like my how do you call that thing, like parang I want to, like, that's my point of why I would um go onto a dating site to date and to like to have a relationship. I'm like, you know, I dream to be just a simple housewife, plain housewife soon. So siguro whoever.
Live like a princess. Why not? Manro
I
is
want to
saying
be
hi.
a
Hi,
plain housewife.
Manro. Manro is actually a good friend. He also joined last night Mr. Gay World
Oh,
Philippines.
hello, my girls.
Congratulations. You did
Congratulations.
very well. I'm so proud of you.
Oh,
Congratulations.
congratulations. So
And to
yeah.
your boyfriend, Justin, for being the fourth runner
Wow.
up
Really for
last night. So
that.
congrats to the both of you. Good friends of mine.
Oh, wow, it's a family affair.
They're
Wow.
both joining pageant. That's so nice, no?
Yes.
Mm. Sana hopefully I will have ano din, someone. Charot lang, you know. I always that's what I always tell my colleagues, you know. No, I'm so tired, you know. Sometimes if I joke around, I'm really tired working na, like, you know, especially if you're doing night shifts, you know. I'm so tired. I just want to be a plain housewife. I just want to be, oh sorry. I just want to cook, you know, dinner, go to the market, you know, wear that polka dot dress and all of that, you know.
Oh, why not? If that will make you happy,
I
that's
really like,
great.
you know, someday maybe. Oh, would you prefer that? You know, if ever.
Why not? I mean, that's actually a very hard, difficult job to fulfill. Many people are underestimating the role of mothers because
Mhm.
they think that they are just at home cooking, serving the husband and the children, and doing all of these household chores for the family. And here in the Philippines, it is being underestimated, but that's actually a wonderful job. It is a wonderful work. So being mom is not easy, and doing all the works for the family. So I also salute the mothers out there for being housewives. That's a very difficult job to
Job,
uh,
exactly.
yes, to fulfill. So
That's probably
thank you.
why we some, you know, like most of us wants to be a plain a housewife, because like it's I think like we only like I know, like we only see the that part, but like the struggles behind it, you know, it's not easy. So that's, yeah, I also salute m- mothers who are really hardworking and trying to, you know, really put the family together. Denver have a question: should cisgender women be allowed to join pageants for transgender women? For me, why not? I mean, like, you know, if they're allowing us to join, especially Miss Universe Spain, they allowed Angela Ponce to join um, their pageant. Why not? If we're comfortable, if it's in the law, or like the organization allows, why not? You know, it's actually fine.
Well,
Can
my
I,
take on that is, well, by definition, transgender women are sex assigned male. Their sex assigned at birth is male, but their gender identification is woman.
Female.
That's why they are labeled transgender women. And we were not being recognized by the society as women. And so we had to create a safe space of our own. We
Mhm.
had to create pageants that are exclusive for
For us.
transgender women because, especially in the Philippines, beauty pageant is a big part of the Filipino culture. It's
Mhm.
something big here in our country, and it's celebrated, very popular, not just to trans women, but to many
Mhm.
Filipinos. So we wanted to celebrate that, the pageantry with the rest of the Filipinos, because we're big fans of pageant. But since we were not allowed, we created our own. But there is
Yeah.
progress now. Look at Miss Universe. Big pageant organizations such as Miss Universe are now allowing transgender women to join them because we are just making that maybe a long time ago they are just making this policy that pageants should only be for cisgender women.
Mhm.
So, but right now it looks like it is being redefined based
Mhm.
on what Miss Universe organization and other pageant organizations are doing. They're redefining it to be a pageant for women. There are different kinds of women, like cisgender women, transgender women, but we're all women.
Women,
So
yeah,
if yes, if
are
the
allowing.
organization is allowing that, why not?
Why not? Yes.
And maybe you know, let's say years and years and years from now, there will be no um, maybe there will be no trans pageant because it's just pageant for women, regardless if you're cis or trans.
The trans.
Can I come in there? So for
Yes.
those of you
Yeah, sure.
who don't know who is speaking, it's Sahara here. Just a quick. This subject is very important. Thank you so much, Jade, for asking that question. Uh, First up, trans pageantry is not as lucrative and as popular as cisgender pageants.
Mhm.
So this is where there is no equality between transgender women and cisgender women yet, and that won't happen, as Jade said. Maybe in the future we may not have the need for segregated pageants. But most of these pageants, let's say pageant for curvy people, pageant for black people, most of them are hosted because mainstream pageant will not include them. And because the beauty of these women, of these different minority groups, are not considered beautiful. So we need to create our own space for us to be seen. For example, we are not allowed on the table. So we create our own table and chair for us to sit on because the mainstream organizations will not include us. So, for example, we we're creating our own pageant, and cisgender woman says, "Oh, but it's discrimination. You're not including me." But why would you even fight for the scrap, which we are using the scrap, which meaning food that drops on the floor that we're eating from the floor, compared to you that is sitting over the table eating posh foods? So, for example, Miss Universe, when you are appearing Miss Universe, look at Angela Ponce, for example, from Spain. She got so much media attention that her life is completely changed. But
Mhm.
we trans people are still fighting for the media to give us the same attention that Miss Universe has. So the competition is not there. We are fight. This is a David and Goliath kind of fight, and we are still the little people, and they are still the big people. So there is no comparison whatsoever. When people say, "Oh, trans people have their own pageant," I'm sorry. Even with the other bigger trans pageantry out there, the money cannot change your life. It won't even pay for your surgery. Talk less of your SRS or even for your book job. It won't even pay for it. The money is just chicken feed compared to what you gain when you join cisgender pageant. So thank you for allowing me to invade your space, Madam Miss Trans Global UK. Right.
This is important.
Thank you, Sahara, for
Thank
that
you,
input.
Tara. Thank you so much. Yes. So, oh, that was really interesting. And thank you, Jade, for asking that question. Yeah. Maki said, Maria Ada Katabas, please keep on waving the trans flag. Thank you for being visible.
Oh, thank you too,
Thank
Maki.
you.
Maki actually is a very um, prominent trans figure in the Philippines and
Cebu, especially in Cebu,
has
yeah.
inspired so many trans siblings, including myself. So thank you so much too for being that inspiration to many people.
Thank you so much, Ate Maki. How do you feel about people trying to stop trans women from accessing female only spaces in the UK? Hmm. What was that? What was the question again, Miss Sahara? Sorry. How?
Question. It says, what would you how would you feel? Because the banner has an error in it. So it says, how do you feel about people trying to stop trans women from accessing female only spaces? Uh, from accessing female only spaces in the UK. So that question goes the same way what Jade asked. Jade also asked the same question, which is, what is your stand on radical feminists, excluding transgender women? So basically, it's the same question. How
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
do you feel about excluding trans women from female-only spaces like Miss Universe? Remember, if you watched Miss Trans Global last year, that was the deciding question that we asked our queens. How would you? What is your stand on it on that subject?
I believe that people should, like I said, try to see us more as a person, and they like um as a transgender woman, like we are women. They they need to be sensitive enough to to know that we also have a feeling, and um we recognize us as a woman. And I like people people who exclude transgender women in some spaces needs to be educated. I think it's really important for them to be educated, for them to understand why we need to take up that space. Why we need to get have the same recognition as cisgender women.
Yes, I think, and also to add to that, and that's right, education is actually very important. It eradicates intolerance and ignorance.
Ignorance.
But the what one thing's weird here is that we are teaching the same information, and that is trans women are women.
Mm,
But what's kind of weird is how people take that learning, and how they take that education or information. Some are agreeing with us, and they are called trans allies. They fight for us as well. They understand our struggles and the essence of our fights, but others are not. And again, it's weird because it's just one same exact information we are teaching to people that trans women are women, but people are not are accepting it differently. So you see, when you ask people why they could not accept trans women as women, if you listen and hear the reasoning, it's always you can really feel that it's coming from a place of hate.
mm,
They are brainwashed, and it's final for them that you are not woman, you're never gonna be a woman. Um, so there's bigotry, and we have to erase that hate in our hearts, especially if you identify as a feminist, because you identify as a feminist and you are fighting as a feminist because you are aware that there is inequality, when it comes to acceptance because of one's gender. So you actually already understand the concept of feminism and and the essence of its advocacy. I think it just needs more education, and also um, be fully aware, be informed, um, that you are actually in the same boat with trans. Trans rights advocacy is very similar to uh, feminism. As a matter of fact, I consider it as feminism as well. But if they're excluding trans, I think that Vera is right. There's a need to further educate.
thank you so much. It comes from a place of ignorance and fear. That's true. It comes from a place of ignorance and fear. That's true. That's true.
That's right.
Right. Mm, thank you so much. Um, my last question for tonight, girls, would be: what is your message to the child who's watching right now or might see this in the future, who's living with parents or family member who oppose of their sexual and gender identity? I will start. I am very, again, fortunate enough that my parents got know and have easily accepted me for who I am. It was a bit. It wasn't a total smooth sailing. There was like a bit of struggles just to let my father understand. But for the child who is watching right now, I think for me, um, study first. You study first. Show them that not this, you transition you are you have show to them, and to fans, you're someone who is who is capable of doing things, may it be having that skills, having that knowledge. And yeah, just never stop believing in yourself and be confident. What about you, Ate Ella?
Yes, that's right. I remember I said this before in my one of my speaking engagements, and I'm gonna say it again. I'm sorry we need to live in this kind of world, um, but
Mm,
there are we can see progress now, and let's hold on to the
mm,
progress, um, and let's be inspired. I know it's difficult. I'm not. I To be honest, that's really a hard question to answer because families, kids sometimes are not capable of really fighting and making big decisions as of yet, because normally we are being guided to our parents, by our siblings, or part of our family that we grew up with. So it's really hard to give advice to them. I just really hope the best for everyone. I hope you can find that happiness, because um, being trans is valid and there is nothing wrong with being trans. It's just so we are in the time where there is a need to educate people that our existence is valid, and that um, unfortunately we also need to educate people that um, our humanity and dignity should be valued just like any just like anyone else. We're all humans. I really hope that we can all be happy and be safe in this world. That's all.
thank you so much, Jade, for that question. And thank you everyone for watching. For my closing statement, um, I'm just really grateful for this opportunity. I wouldn't be able to do this if not because of my inspiration, Eda, Maki, Denver, my family. You know, I'm just really grateful that I am here. Yeah, it's not just about having the crown. It's not just about winning the crown. It's about how you let people, how how I want, how let people how you let people know about your the reason why you're fighting for equality, which is yeah. Thank you.
Yes, and I'd like to say thank you so much for inviting me to be here, Vera. We are so proud of you. We are so proud of you. You are doing a great job. Um, you know, Maybe people would maybe question, oh, she's a Filipino representing UK, and for me that doesn't matter. This is about visibility. This is about mainstreaming trans rights advocacies, and this is about educating people that our existence is real and valid. So thank you. I'm so proud of you, Queen Sahara. Thank you for having us. Um, Congratulations! This is the second year of Miss Trans Global, and you have produced, like, last year we have Queen Mela, who's doing a wonderful job in being the voice and being the a good role model for the rest of trans people in the whole world. I really hope that you vote for Vera. Please let us support her. um, I'm really also rooting for you, and best of luck. Best of luck. I know you'll do well.
Thank
Again,
you
we're
so
so proud
much.
of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Miss Sarah. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for watching. And please don't forget to vote. You can go to misstransglobal.com/vote, and you can cast your vote there. You have a one free vote, and if you'd like to purchase a vote, you can it's also available. Proceeds will be this is would go to the charities and to, yeah, um to people behind Miss Trans Global 2021. I am so grateful. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you, Ate Ada, Miss Ada Katabas, for joining me in this presentation.
My
I've learned so
pleasure.
much.
Thank you so much.
I'm not expert with this, with all of this thing, but yeah, thank you. You made you made me feel comfortable. You made, like, it's like, it's not just like how I, like, how educated you are, like me, like, because even so I know something, it's still like, it's still not enough. That's why we need people to share things, with us, so that we also, get to have those kind of knowledge, and we're sharing. And that's why I wanted to um have you here, because I know people would also learn so much from you.
You're doing a wonderful job. And maybe if you just like to learn some more, when there's an opportunity, then grab that opportunity to learn and to be educated about, if you want to have like deep understanding of trans rights and advocacies. But I think you're doing a wonderful job, and congrats, and again, best of luck.
Thank you so much. So that would be all. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. So
Bye bye, Denver, everyone.
don't forget to vote. Don't forget to vote.
Salma, JD, vote for Farah and support her.
Thank you.